Hello, guys. Welcome back to the show. My name is Warren Guru, aka Uncle Warren. Thank you so much for joining me today. Wanted to actually sit down today and actually talk to you more about Solana scripts. This is actually some, it's a bundler and also is a market maker that I've actually spoke about previously before. Now, the one of the reasons why I want to talk about it because it works very well in conjunction with bundler software. To be honest with you, people sometimes get twisted because honestly, DWT was first of all, if you know what DWT is and you know what you know, but it was like a Swiss Army knife. It had five or six different features to it. And I don't know about you, but sometimes they say if you're a jack of trades, you're never going to be a master of one. And I particularly like to essentially get a bundler, whether it be using like a CLI bundler or a GLI bundler. Make sure you get something that you're comfortable with. And then if it comes to specific things such as market making things, such as human buys, such as, generation volume, pumping the charts, whether it be on Radium or whether it be on PUMPFUN, then I would particularly recommend going with probably a CLI software. So essentially, what you would be doing is you'd be working with a bundler to buy in your positions, and then from that point on, using a simple CLI script. So that way, it's futures proof. It allows you to have leverage to be able to basically, boom, one click, boom, everything else is done. And essentially, once you have your preset set up, you can continue to rinse and repeat, so to speak, over and over and over. I wanted to go further and deeper into this. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, it's not financial advice, but I had a conversation with a student recently, and I thought it would be very advantageous to bring it to YouTube, just so that way you guys could have a few further clarification when it comes to specifically Solana scripts and some of the things that they have within their ecosystem. So, with that being said, here we are. Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon. When it comes to the projects that you're currently launching, do they have a specific meta to them, or is it just random?
Well, usually we kind of check the market initially if there was a meta, but I'm sure you've seen the market in the last few days. There wasn't really much of a meta of anything. It was just kind of just shitcoin city.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, it's a spec. I was actually having a conversation with someone earlier, and I was like, it's interesting because beforehand, a lot of people are onboarding right when Solana was like 200 and up. And in that time space, a lot of people were coming off saying that they didn't even really have to use very much market volume tools like human buys, generative buys, because shit was just sending with regardless. So
Right.
now we're getting lowered closer to. Honestly, I built the academy when it was like 120 $130 per soul. So it's technically the academy's meant for bear markets. You know what I'm saying?
You're
Um,
right.
and so like I'm actually like super excited. The lower it gets, like the lower the market cap is when it comes to even pump. It's like 3 4 thousand, and that's when I remember it being compared to like 7 8 thousands to begin with. This is where we get to actually do market manipulation to its finest, because things such as bundling is one thing, but the actual process of the human buys, generating volumes, micros, holders, all that good stuff, really comes into play when you're trying to either a fish for snipers that are going to try to either take a project to Radium, or if you're really just trying to fish a strong community, so to speak. And this is where the telegrams become back to, well, honestly, if you think about it, the higher Sol is and the less volume on Pump Fund, or sorry, the higher Solana and the more volume on Pump Fund, the less communication there is with Telegram channels. The
Right.
lower volume and the lower volume Pump Fund, you're gonna see more and more communities being built again and more TG channels. It's just like it's a teeter totter. It's interesting.
Right. I got you. Yeah. Speaking of, farming snipers and everything, we just came across like another tool like yesterday called Kinesis that's pretty versatile on being able to farm and market manipulate with volume buys and bumps, and that's kind of what we've been playing with for the last 2 days. But
Kinesis.
yes.
Yeah, you're a Discord, because I know I've been hitting up by a lot of different hookups. I'm not. That sounds familiar, but I don't see them in my on my Discord. Do they have a community?
Yeah, they have a community. It's Kinesis. I'll pretty much link it over there for you. But yeah, it's a pretty decent UI. No RPC required. No proxies, no nothing. It's all web based.
It's web based.
And
Gotcha.
yeah, and
Okay.
so it's it was pretty impressive for what it was. It's fast and for what we were using, and we're profiting just, farming snipers, but overall, we definitely we like to see what Penguin is, or we're still in our trial right now, but it's like hit or miss with it. So, it's just a bundler as is, and I know they're
Yeah.
they're looking to release, market maker tools, but we want to kind of have the experience of what market maker tools can do, because as you said, we're kind of in that bearish sentiment right now, and it's a lot. It's very advantageous for us to kind of learn how to go ahead and do that, because when things kind of really pick up, we can kind of really print.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, so let me ask you, when it comes to specifically the tools that you're currently using that's working for you beyond the Penguin, is it
Yeah,
just bundling or is it also market and manipulation software as well, bots like the
it
Kinesis?
yeah, Kinesis is mainly it's just a series of just like dev buy and volume buys, like
Okay,
mainly. Yeah.
gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. So
So
you haven't, if I'm not mistaken, have you essentially used either human bias and generate volume with multiple different wallets in a way like have you did that at all? Any type of generate volume? I want to just know your experiences in that background.
no, so mainly when we got into Dogwood Tools, we only had basically 2 weeks until that whole fiasco
Oh
happened. So
shit!
we didn't. Yeah, so we went straight into the frying pan like
Damn.
wild there.
Oh Lord have mercy. Okay,
Uh-huh.
so you like went into so right after that you got, if I'm not mistaken, uh
Osmo.
Osmo, and then from that point on, it was like free entry when it comes to just like the whole penguin thing. But you
Yes,
really don't have, if I'm not mistaken, a software. Well, at least at the moment, you don't have anything that's representing any type of market manipulation, like in generate volume or human buys and or holder distribution. You don't have any of that,
correct.
right?
Correct.
So I'm trying to think what would be the best way to do this. Because yeah, ideally it'd be an amazing thing if Penguin had that. But I get it. They're working on, um, just the bundler full tool. It's like why be a jack of all trades when you can be a master of one? Type of thing. I get it. So like let the guy cook up. Now, are you looking to potentially invest into another particular like market maker, or are you looking to like what's your next goals here as far as like your liquid that you're working with?
Yeah, so we're open to investing into something that can, get us to the goals that we want.
Okay.
So, currently with what we're kind of messing with in Kinesis, we're basically buying and doing volume wallets anywhere from like 10 to 15 sol. And then but if we're looking at another tool that that you can advise us on, that can really market manipulate, we'll be open to hearing about it.
Okay. So I would recommend probably okay. I would go with Solana scripts, but personally,
Hmm.
and it's just due to the fact that they have. A matter of fact, if you want, I could also share my screen too, but let me share
Yeah,
that real quick here. But I
sure.
would let me share that, and then we can go over that more. Go live. All right, let me know when you see my screen here.
Sure, hold on.
I'm gonna go to Solana
Okay.
scripts right now.
Yep, I do.
Okay, cool. On the right side, what I'll do is I'll go to Solana scripts, so we can kind
Yep.
of just like dive into that world a little bit, and then from then what we'll do is we'll kind of talk more about what they offer and how it might be better
Yeah, I
for
know.
you.
Yeah, well, we know Solana scripts because, like, usually it's a CLI, right?
Yep, that's correct. It is CLI. It is literally based off of Infinity Scripts. The person who developed it is pretty transparent about that. But
Yeah.
they got a pretty strong community, and they actually kind of open it up to the point where it does some way more also than Infinity Scripts Bundler does. Matter of fact, let's actually go to the products real quick. And
Sure.
also, one of the things I like about this too, to be completely frank with you, is that it's just futures proof. Once you set your bundler up, which is usually, like you said, your GUI, all you need to do is, at that point, Make sure, of course, that your GUI, your vault PKs have some type of limiters, some type of exit point, so that way you don't have to think of the exit. It's automatically in place, right? But
Hmm.
beyond that, in the middle of this everything, you can just open up the terminal, set it up for the correct CA address, and then just hit go. And theoretically, once everything's working the first time, as long as you update the software, it's pretty much cookie cutter to do its thing. And it's great because it just doesn't have to be updated in a sense where it's like a GUI where you kind of have to continue with either the protocols going on in Windows or Linux. You don't have to think about
Right.
that shit, So, but anyways, right here, if you could see my screen, you see my screen right here? Or should I make it bigger for you?
Yeah, can you make that a little bigger?
All right, let me see here. I'm gonna go to my share again. Hold on, I'm gonna stop the screen and I'm gonna share my disk, my OBS, go live. Okay, let me know if you see it now.
Yeah, I see it.
Perfecto. So yeah, basically we have here is the Solana volume bot. I'm gonna try to make it even a little bit bigger too.
No, that's
Okay.
good. The previously was fine.
Oh, like that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, first of all, this is cool because you don't have to worry about it just being conducive just for one particular platform. It doesn't not I mean for not platform, but like Pump Fun as far as or Radium. This is for both.
Right.
The Radium, excuse me, Radium Trend Bot, Radium. This is so basically. I want to get to your token trading in just a few minutes after launch. Our Solana Volume Bot can create 1 million volume in just 25 minutes tested. This is cheaper than any volume bot service on the market. Currently, three versions are available, however. Radium Trend Bot, the Radium Natural Volume, and the Radium Fast Volume. This is a Solana Volume Bot. And then you also have PUMPFUN as well. Let me go down to
Yes.
PUMPFUN.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Now, this is the PUMPFUN Bumper and Volume Bot. This is 10 Sol. The bump your pump fund token every few milliseconds with our same TX mode, which minimizes loss on bumping. The
Hmm.
bot includes also human volume bot, buy, sell, each with random fresh key pairs. It also generates profiles for each of the wallets. So it's doing everything simultaneously for you within the script. You don't have to click, click, click. It just does its shit.
Right.
Which is dope. These are some of the things that I think that is more of a set it and forget it type of situation rather than like a bundler, which I could definitely see why users would like that more hands-on experience. And so I think what you have kind of going on is a good workflow, and then bringing this in the middle would be very advantageous, I believe, for you.
Right. Okay, I got it.
Pump
Uh,
Fun comments and shill. Now, this goes into honestly the further and further Solana goes down, the more and more people need, a better reason to quote unquote hold. And so
right.
the volume is one thing, but the comments will come into play really theoretically when it comes to that point where it's like 140, 130 Solana. If it gets to that point again. Hey, I've seen it. It is what it is. I've seen this shit go to 115, 120 like 7 months ago. Like it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just buy low. And but basically, yeah, this would be good for you if you get to that stages. But in theoretics, if you have the liquidity, you would simply just need this because by the time it got to this part, it probably has already hit Ray. And ideally, if you played your cards right, what you're really doing is you're essentially you're essentially baiting snipers to essentially take it to Ray on purpose, in this and in hopes that your bundler wallets are limited out. That's all this is doing, and it's essentially
Yes.
continuing over and over and over. As long as the walls come in fresh and not in the blacklisted API, then you should be golden.
Okay, got it. So then my question to you is like, you know, so I know Solana Scripts has, a good amount of like attachments or add-ons you want to categorize these versus like a general bundler. With the pump fund, like I
Uh-huh.
guess like the bumper and the volume bot with and the yeah, I guess and the bundler, that'd be like the combination that would be best to kind of manipulate as a market maker tool?
Uh-huh. Wait, what's
Yes
the
or no?
question?
The question is that with that combination of
Yeah,
the bumper and volume bot and the bundler, that will be basically the combination of a market maker tool,
that
correct?
is. This is, yeah, I mean, this is a market maker. This is the tool. Yeah, literally,
Yeah.
this is the market maker. The
Okay.
buying and selling is not the market maker. The market maker is you're bumping you're popping the charts up through random distribution of all these wallets.
Hmm.
So yeah, this is the market maker right here for sure.
Okay, cool. And I guess pretty much would be I guess initially what we have what are sorry, hold on. It's a little late for us right now on the East Coast, so it's kind of
No
hard to think
worries.
what my thoughts. So give me a minute here. Mainly, the volume bot would be good. So like what would you say would be, a I wouldn't say an ideal situation, but kind of like an average. If you're using the market maker tools and you're launching, 3 to 4 projects, a day, are we expecting the market maker tools to, create that volume to attract, the snipers to come in on a consistent basis, or is that just kind of be more on market trend?
No, that's pretty much on a consistent basis. I think ideally it's a race between volume and also auditing and numbers. So the thing about it is these sniping bots from all across the world only have so much time to decide whether to get in and get out, and they only
Yeah,
can do so much information thinking before they can actually have to fire in. So theoretically speaking, what's happening here is you have bots going ahead connecting to APIs such as Pump It Pro or Blacklist APIs. And depending on what you're doing prior to the actual deployment starting, it sometimes
mhm,
was what gives it away before you even start. So, for example, you have Osmo, so you already have an understanding of how that whole algorithm works as far as being a sniper. If you
yep,
simply just connected the API of Pump It in there, instead of sniping other people's contracts, all you got to do is put that bullet to you and snipe your own
right,
shit. And what happens is you can use it now as an audit tool to essentially find out if all your wallets are at all at any point blacklisted. So the meaning that if you can fire into your own shit, then you're good to go. If it won't, then something's wrong. You know?
right,
And
right.
that'll
That's
save
really
you a lot of
interesting.
time and money because before you even think about generating volume, you can literally do, for example, safe mode deploys and set it up so that way, as long as the API is connected, I think it's 1.5 SOL a month, by the way, for the blacklist API, but as long as it's connected and as
Hmm.
long as you set up your deploys, you essentially can quote unquote test every single volume wallet and every single situation you already, everything you have already before you do the actual real experimental play and before they come up as real generation volume. You know what I'm saying?
Cool.
And so
Yeah.
basically, even if it's just a small 0.0001 test and you're really just coming in quickly on a 20 wallet safe mode to play, you're really just testing your own shit really before you start get started. That'll give you literally the biggest confirmation, not by just numbers, but statistically analytics and reverse psychologically, reverse engineering the shit basically to them.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. So yeah, that's really good on the Solana scripts as a tool for the market maker. I think the next, thing on the list that kind of
And by the way, you're gonna
what
get the
we
course with that too. I have a full on course for
okay,
Solana scripts. Yeah.
for Solana scripts.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
It's already
Awesome.
done.
Um Now, since now, like, here's a question. Since now we're kind of like in this, medium area within the market, people are, of course, acting like the sky's falling because Sol is crashing, and
Yeah.
I don't, and I don't think I don't think we're at the floor yet, but we're kind of, getting towards to an area that a lot of people are uncomfortable. Um, and the market is kind of drying up on metas. What would your recommendation be on like the psychology of creating um projects that I wouldn't say sent but can be basically consistent and like a good process to kind of really look into creating things.
Yeah. Well, theoretically, so I'll answer that in two parts. So one part is
Yeah.
that specifically Solana itself, it will always, I feel personally, will be considered the chain that is mostly known for gambling in a sorts, you know, it's like
Yeah.
that casino type of chain. So, and a lot of times people do FUD and they LARP about like, you know, going somewhere else, but the reality is that like people can talk XRP all they want, but you know, when you go to a chain that you can't see shit, like you can't see no buys and no sells, you know what I'm saying? You thought
Yeah.
bundling was bad here, like that, damn, you could bundle without a bundler at that point.
I know.
But in reality, it's just a matter of the exiting big billionaires going out and then more big billionaires coming in, you know?
Right.
And that's just what's going to consistently happen no matter what. And that's just what Solana's about. You know, it's just always a flood story of up and downs. But the funny thing about it is once it goes down, just goes all the way up higher. It's like, oh shit, how'd it get to 400 a full? And then now it's back down to 200 again. People are like, oh my god, it's dead. It's at 200. We were just at
Yeah.
fucking 130 a year ago. You know what I'm saying?
I know. I know.
And so it just I've been in the space so long that I've been there before that. You know. So
Yes.
yeah, that's
Cigar
in
and
that
I have been in
regard.
the cycles for a good while, and this is our first time kind of been in the casino side.
Yeah,
We've kind of been mainly on the alt and the mining side, so this is all
gotcha.
kind of new for us.
Oh yeah, no
But
worries.
yeah, so it really doesn't matter to us on what the price of Solana is right now. It's just having the ability to actually create a system that can create projects and be able to, integrate Osmo and for us to be able to print. That's about it.
Yeah, I think that honestly, we want a happy medium because theoretically speaking, if it was to let's say hypothetically speaking, Solana's price was like 500 a soul.
Right.
We're looking towards more of not necessarily when it comes to transaction fees, but when we're looking now more as far as bundling, it'd be a lot harder because you're looking at market caps at the floor at like 30,000 starting off. You know what I'm saying? Because the fucking
Yeah.
Solana sold at 500, 600, 700. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
theoretically speaking, as bundlers in general, we really don't want the price of Sol to be really too crazy high. To be completely frank with you, it
Right.
kind of is counterproductive to the whole entire situation.
100%.
You know, so like it's a give or take here, and so by us essentially doing what we're doing while fluctuating the price of Solana, it's done on purpose. So that way, when the people like, I'm not sure if you saw, there's a guy who he's on Twitter a lot and he's on YouTube. I think he's called something guy, cable guy, something guy. I'm not sure you know who he is, but he's gained a lot of followers, and he was just doing an apology video the other day, and I'm thinking to myself like, damn. Um, he must be hurting some what's it called? People that are essentially in the business that have nothing to do with the business, but basically they're pulling out of his like what's called sponsorships, right?
Oh yeah.
Because I'm like, because at the end of the day, everybody knows what you're getting into. It's a casino. It's an easy play. Like whether you're a trader or you're not a trader, if you don't know that, it's just on your own, you know.
Right. I got you. All right, cool. So I think you're at the start of like the second end of the answering that question of
Yes.
the psychology of, kind of creating the projects in this type of atmosphere.
Absolutely. So yeah, I have a couple different things I can show you for verbatim. I actually have Twitter opened up right now. Currently, we can actually open it up from my current browser right now. We'll just get off of Solana scripts for a second, and we'll
Cool.
jump into X. So there's a few different things that we can go over specifically. Now, I would say just like how we talk about when it comes to the wallet seasonings, or just not seasonings in general, but just the fundings in general, just getting started. I actually have a video, by the way, that I'm going to be putting out on Friday. It's called I think it's called Blacklist, and essentially shows everyone how to not get on that blacklist, like API thing. But
Okay.
beyond that, I wanted to say that Twitter here, it works kind of similar in a sense as far as warming up, so to speak. And what I mean by that is you can literally right now create a Twitter account, and it doesn't even have to be verified. It helps though if it is verified. But if you
Hmm.
even just said, for example, hey, drop your sole address. I'm about to, feeling really generous, and then you just put a screenshot, for example, of you know, a wallet that's nice size wallet, right?
Right.
um, then you would be surprised to see how much interaction you get randomly people across the world, and usually it might even be robots. But even if it's bots, it's literally telling the algorithm to mess with this particular account more and more and more. Um,
Oh,
and so a lot of times people are not aware that when it comes to X in general, it's like an underground handshake. Now I'm gonna give you a couple different work case studies here, so that way you can have a couple examples.
okay.
And these examples, what we'll do is we'll start with a couple people that are LARPing that basically they're not docs. Some of them are not docs. Some of them have very few less what's it called following count. Like for example, this guy here, he's got 6,214 followers,
Yeah.
and he is essentially a dev, and what he's doing is his type of dev is I'm going to create content that is controversial, and most of the time, sometimes it's just honestly just blatantly fake, right? Um,
Hmm.
and essentially, what he'll do is I'm pretty sure because I've seen them go viral in a sense. He'll throw like ads, and because they're not linking anywhere. There's no point of click. There's no call to action. It's just words and an image, and so he's able to essentially create ads with this, and then use a thread style to reply with a CA on the second part of the ad, so that way it looks like people are coming to a specific thing, and then once they go to that specific thing, they're like, and then they go to the second thread to read about it with comments, and then there's a CA. So
Right.
let me give you a good working example of this, so that way you can see it, because he is quick with it. He will delete a lot of shit after it goes to a certain point, and he wants to, obviously, rug it. But here's a couple one. Let's see here, because that guy, has been going fucking viral.
Yeah.
Uh,
Libra,
yeah,
Melania, everything.
yeah, it's like that's a LARP too. That guy probably was not even involved with the whole thing. He's just hired to be for the cameras. But it is what it is. But let me see if I could find any working examples here, so that way you
Yeah.
can see exactly what's going on in this guy's world here.
I watched that interview that he did, and it just doesn't seem like he was the dev.
Yeah,
Everything he was saying.
yeah, that was a straight up Hollywood R LARP. I was like, what the
Yeah.
heck? Like, these guys are actually falling for this consecutively. But anyways, whenever you see something where this says breaking news, usually
Yeah.
on this thing, it usually means it's like fake news. But even if it's fake news, it comes with a CA address. And sometimes what he'll do even is he'll even put a screenshot of like a DM, but the DM has like an address. So for example, this one right here, right? Let me pull this one
Hmm.
up. This one says breaking. Frank the Gods has suddenly provided his account migrated. This is all fake, by the way. This is not
Yeah.
real. They just put it together. So it ended up getting like almost 1 million views, 852,000 views from this only
Right.
small little 5,000 count, on Twitter, by simply doing this and throwing ads to it. And then what he does is smart. He doesn't update. So after the ad was approved, so that way you can trickle with the comments, the community, whatever that's being built from this particular thread of information that he's basically LARPed, live action roleplay. And so now
Right.
there you go is the CA address, which is now in the screenshot embedded. That's literally a fake thumbnail, and then now people are LARPing crazy into 36,000 people getting to the CA. This is one way how he was able to essentially outsmart the system, so to speak, right? And
Right.
get a shitload of people to go to the CA, and then eventually don't. I think to the point where it gets to the point where either um, if you might get to the point, like if you get it to where it's a screenshot and Grok doesn't see it, since this is not the main post, the main post is this one, and
Right.
then you got the second one, this one, and he might be still getting traction on the CA now. He still might be like low key farming it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a
Yeah.
lot of different fucking views to get. It's almost like paying Twitter to bring in an exit liquidity.
Insane. And when you say he's running ads, you're talking about paid ads?
Yeah, paid ads for this only though this part right here,
Okay. Got
which
it.
is there's no everything falls in line to technically Twitter standards. There's no advertisement whatsoever on crypto. It literally has no call to action. It
Right.
has a picture's face. Whether it be fake news or not fake news, it's a wespeculation of SEC. We're using his words very carefully, so that way they don't trigger certain things that give you like a definitely no for like a, so
Right.
who uses the word speculation? Come on now, that already tells you if you're not already. I'm smoking weed and I know already that tells like why would you use that word? You know, but people don't know that shit, right? And then it's like, oh shit, this guy's fucking blowing up on line right now, and this is the third. Let me just go ahead and like fucking see what's going on. Let me share it, and that's what happens. Next thing
Right.
you know it, they think that they're inside plays, but really they're inside exit liquidities.
Got it.
That's
Very,
one way,
very
right? I'm gonna give you another couple instances too.
okay.
If we go to, for example, a website such as, let's go to Cameo, for example. Cameo, are
Hmm.
you familiar with Cameo is? Are you familiar with what Cameo is?
Yeah, they do celebrity shout outs, right?
Yeah,
You pay them to
Yeah.
do anything.
exactly. So you could use this site as well. I've done this several times, and like these guys are consistently being hired by Well, these guys are probably overhired now, but I remember several people were hiring them like whores on like on Pump Fun, and they were dropping coins left and right just through these cameos. But yeah,
Wow.
essentially you go on here, and and even if you can't work a deal to drop a CA from the Twitter standpoint, you can
Mhm.
literally make them create a just like they're used to a script. Every single one of these guys here, all their lives become actors, have been puppets to some other director. That's just the reality of that world we live in. And
Right.
so you're just simply placing in their arena something that they're already currently used to. Even though to you it may be like, oh, this is going to be a shitload of money, but they don't see it that way. They see it as the reason why they're famous in the beginning, because the people from the that were giving them the script was the ones that were really getting paid. You know what I'm saying? It's the same shit, you know. Um, so instead of saying to you, "Would you give me my son's birthday video?" you say, "Here's a script here. I need you to act this out," and
Right.
they'll prove it a lot of times. Boom with the delivery, and next thing you know it, like for example, I'll give you a good example. One I had was a famous guy had over 2 million YouTube subscribers, and over I think 60,000 or 70,000 people on X, and yeah, I was like had him say, hey, yeah, the Dex is fucking pays. He's paying for Dex. We're gonna fucking drop this project once it hits 400K. I'm dropping this on my Twitter, on my X. We're going crazy with it. Like he literally had all everything I typed in. He said,
Hmm.
and so I essentially prayed for that video to be privatized. Then from that point on, within the actual Telegram group, sorry, not the group, but the actual portal. The portal is where the video is placed. The portal is where not only where the video is placed, but the video cannot be shared or saved in the portal for security purposes. For the fact that people can say, "Oh, this is fake." No, we can't do that. In order to actually even get into the actual group itself, you have to do the captcha. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Telegram groups, but you do the
Yes.
portal, and boom, and there's a portal, then you get the group. The portal is where the video is placed, so it requires the humans to actually scan this before they even do the actual captcha, which at that point essentially is forcing people to be diamond hand holders because then they believe in a narrative because the actual person's saying it right in front of their face for
Oh,
only a
okay.
hundred dollars.
Dang.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what's up.
So I've showed you already two different ways of doing it, but at the end of the day, people are using a whole bunch of different ways, and I'm gonna keep doing this more and more and more and more on my YouTube. But
Right.
although they're doing it essentially is LARP tactics or different type of tactics to essentially bring sub micro communities to a particular JPEG to temporarily buy it for the course of like 1 to 5 minutes. It's just,
Interesting. Okay.
that's why I
And
say with the economy going with the Solana going down. tactics such as this is the best thing, because prior to the market being at like 200 plus, a lot of the buys that are happening, especially in the lower market caps, were actually bought buys anyways that are being FOMOed upon. So the less bought buys are happening from the when the market cap at the beginning requires humans to FOMO, and then now the bots follow the humans. So it's either way or vice versa. Like when it's up, like the market cap's up and everyone's volume's high, the humans are following the bots. But when everyone's
Right.
dead, these bots are following the humans. It's vice versa.
Interesting. Okay. I never thought to think of it that way.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Okay. Very, very cool. Sweet. So basically, I really like the Twitter LARP aspect. That seems to be pretty easy to duplicate. Just pretty much trying to find the right stuff to actually catch the algorithm seems to be the key.
Yeah, and sometimes it might be just healthy to even do multiple different stories, so to speak, and then have
Yeah.
them applied. So some people I know have like 30 to 40 different stories that are pending approval for X, and then once they actually approve, then they publish, and then they literally at that point, if you're using something, for example, like Penguin, you necessarily don't have to have the CA actually live for you to have the CA. So this
Right.
gives you a little, yeah, so this gives you a little bit of edge to be able to do something such as placing the CA directly into a screenshotted photo that looks like a DM message, so to speak, where that
Mm-hmm.
now you can drop this as a part of the threading and highlight it as a pin, since you are the author, and you can pin it now. And
Right.
now you can bring more leverage to that particular contract, and it hasn't even been created yet.
Yeah, that would be advantageous when if you're using Penguin because you get the CA beforehand. But I don't think Solana Scripts allows that, right?
No, it's okay, because at the end of the day, you don't really care about that. You care because
Yeah.
a lot of scripts and Penguin are going to work can tandem with each other due to the fact that it's PKs that you really care about, not the actual softwares at all. The PKs
Right.
are going to be the main source of bread for you.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Um, Sweet, dude. Mainly, that was pretty much our pain points there. Is trying to get more of a heading on what's going to be the best tools to best
Yeah,
fulfill what we need for the most part, and just kind of have the psychology. Was it Cigar? You got anything else you want to give to Warren to ask?
No, actually, a lot of stuff was already answered, but I guess the biggest thing that that we were having the biggest problem with is actually finding the correct meta, and then when you find the meta, how to push it. So,
Yeah.
and from what you're showing me, from what you're showing us, I mean, this is so you're literally using outside sources when you don't have a community already built in order to push that meta.
absolutely. Matter of fact, dude, there's another thing that you can do that I'm actually doing right now. It's
Okay.
automatic and it's also autonomous too. By the way, this is so nice to meet you. You haven't talked in the last 30 minutes, and I was like, oh shit, there's another person in the fucking room.
Yeah, I've been sitting here listening.
I was like, peekaboo,
I'm the guy that sits in the back and trigger.
motherfucker. Yeah, that's what's up, brother.
I'm the one that sits in the back, and if the code doesn't work, and then that's when I get the phone call. If the
Okay,
code don't work, then
that's what's up. All right, well, hey, welcome, man. So yeah, that's another thing you can do too, where essentially, if you, for example, Infinity Scripts, and I believe even Solana Scripts as well, has a comment bot. Now that comment bot has a mode called Auto Shill. Auto Shill can be very useful because as long as you have residential proxies, then what happens is this actually detects every project that goes to King of the Hill daily. And you can set up customized messages and images to always automatically hit these King of the Hill projects for you. And the way that is being used for myself and others is by creating literally a Telegram channel, not a group, but a channel, so that
Mhm.
you ultimately have control of all the narrative of that channel. For example, you take control of even something slight as the Scully emojis on the channel that they can't use them. So everything that's being done, whether it be a drop or a bug or whatever it may be, the only thing they
Mhm.
can say about it is good, positive things. And you continue to curate this quote unquote alpha group by essentially having these king of the hill comments automatically on a daily basis be attached to these projects, because what happens is humans go to them and just start looking at the comments, and they're like, oh shit, let me jump in this alpha group because it looks like, it might be something I need because I'm new here at Pump or something. And literally it's a way to grab organic audience consistently day to day without it
Okay,
Oh,
needing
so
that's
a
interesting.
you're
Twitter at
actually
all.
just you're even using that to literally snipe an audience,
Yeah, pretty much.
not just the project.
Yeah, because like Cigar and I, we're actually traditional, finance retail traders. We used to trade futures, so
Okay.
um, and we've been part of a lot of groups, and we have access to a lot of community, and we're looking to build our own community.
Yeah.
And it's not too hard for us to grab that type of audience to come over to into our community, but we just need to build proof of concept and value first.
Right.
So that's quite interesting that using that type of tool to also pretty much snipe audiences, just like Cigar said, to come into a community is pretty neat.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I just want to be able to essentially make things work for you on your behalf, because at the end of the day you only need a small little push to bring those rocks down. I mean, as long as your bubble maps are clean. And I was telling somebody this earlier, like one thing is have bubble maps clean is another one thing, right? But now we're in 2025 going
Yeah,
closer to 2026. It's like at a point where it's like got to be two-step now. All because you have
right.
bubble maps doesn't mean that when you drop your funder wallet, for example, and you put let's say distribution in X, Y, and Z wallets, they can't hit at all at the same time. I mean, yeah, you're not going to show them bubble maps, but to a big black API, to a blacklist API, that's an easy way to trigger automatic entry into that into that blacklist by putting all your Solana, just distributing all the same amount though the same time at all wallets. So that's why I always recommended people, and I do this, by the way. My videos coming up on the next 24 or 48 hours, but what I do is I show each and every time when we do projects, we want to fund each and every wallet from the funder individually. And before we even jump into the funder, we even do the Houdini swap through what's it called, anonymous mode, so that way it can't even tell that the funder was funded from an exchange. So it's even deeper than that.
Interesting. So when you're doing the Houdini swap, are you doing that 30-minute wait?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Got it. Okay, so this is pre-planning for
Hundred
the whole
percent.
thing.
100%. This
Yeah,
is pre-planning because this is going to cause the most FOMO in the beginning. So that way, at the end of the day, once you start doing this consistently, you start seeing that the phone buys happen, and now it's a matter of when you should buy or sell. Then it gets interesting because then you can start playing. That's why I introduced Osmo, because you could, technically speaking, just start your deploy up and use Osmo to bring in a supply and a supply, but set up profit and loss so that every market cap goes up every 5-7%. It's selling out small percentages, getting your initials back. That's like an initial taker. It's literally just taking your initials out, so that way when it's done selling, that's all
right.
your initials, and everything else is left as your bundle to sell whatever you want. You don't have to think about, oh shit, my initials are going to come out, because that one Osmo thing is set to go in and just take that out completely.
Yeah, that's one of the main reasons that I wanted to get Osmo. Um, and because I think no, yeah, I think a lot of the users that do have Osmo don't realize the powerful tool it is. They kind of just
Yes.
look at the features that give you with like a pump fund sniper,
Right.
copy trading here and there. But Cigar and I were like, this can snipe our own stuff. Like this is legit.
Oh yeah, it's crazy, and then we're just getting started. And the thing about it is, like, I gotta be careful because I'm the bundler guy. Everybody knows me, the bundler. But like bundlers and snipers, they don't really get along. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm like here on the front end. I'm like, yeah, I'm non-biased, but I'm like, hey, what y'all doing over there? Okay, hey guys, they're doing this. They're doing this. So it's like I gotta be careful because I'm partners with these snipers, but I gotta move a little accordingly different.
Yeah, I think it's quite interesting that I think I saw you post today that you were promoting Pump It Up on their new release of like version 2.0
Yeah,
for the blacklist and the whitelist.
yeah,
But then again, you are also a bundler who's
yes.
Yeah.
technically supposed to be on that list.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. That's why you got to shoot yourself in the face. People don't even realize they got the whole Osmo, and they don't even shoot themselves. If you get a shot, you want that to happen. If you don't, if
Right.
your shit don't hit the bundle, if your Osmo don't hit your contract, then get the fuck out of your own shit. Like it's gonna be
Yeah.
worth your time. Like it's already telling you red flag. The best 1.5 condom you can buy every month. Period.
Interesting. Yeah. We haven't even messed with the API on there yet because we're we're not using the pump fun sniper or anything. When we were kind of like um looking around, seeing bundlers, we were just messing around with the Discord and Telegram scraper on it,
Yeah,
and the copy trader, but mainly trying to understand the system in itself. What's best for us on our projects is what we're kind of we're learning about it.
for sure. And I think that now that you kind of have maybe a little bit more of an expansion as far as some of the marketing tactics that you can do to bring in that FOMO, I think you're gonna have a lot of fun with it. Honestly, one thing that I like to do is sometimes you don't have to think smart, but think harder. But just go to ChatGTP, for example, right? And
Mhm.
you can literally say to it, I want you to think in the idea of a psychological reverse engineer or whatever that, right? Or you can find a one on Google, find a person that's really famous that's an engineer, and say, think
Yeah.
in the mindset of this particular person, right? And then it
Right.
literally will do that shit. And then you say, all right, take these two ideas, and then the two ideas can literally they'll be the ones I just gave you, which is like, all right, this is this idea. You can contextually talk about it, and then do the second one so it understands both ideas. And then once you hit enter, literally it will come up with like you say, come up with like 10 more ideas are similar. It'll literally do the thinking for you. And like I can give you 3, 4, 5 other ideas that people do, but like literally it'll do in the tandem of what essentially gives you to do. And that's what I do. I literally use AI to help out with certain things that we don't have to think about.
Interesting. I never thought about doing that. I think I'll do that. Thank you for that.
Yeah, just make sure you're using ChatGPT before, because that's the whole point of entering like the fourth, like this, what's it called, the sixth part of your brain. It's like you don't want to think about that shit, so might as well have a computer do it for you.
For sure. Okay, cool, man. Cigar, you good?
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah. I agree with the
Awesome.
Chat GPT thing. Me and Chat GPT are best friends. Trust me.
Nice. So he already knows he that secret handshake. Bada bing,
Mhm.
bada boom.
That's it.
Awesome. So then, yeah, we'll let you know when we pretty much pick up,
Okay.
Solana scripts so that you can like switch over the course for us.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'll shoot you over the Solana scripts, the referral, so that way you can get the course for free. And yeah, man, it's gonna be super excited to get you in there.
All right, awesome, man. Appreciate your time, man. It was really, really
Yeah, absolutely. It's
worth
my
it.
pleasure. I love spending time with you guys. Like, if it wasn't that, I'd be in the trenches doing what I do. But hey, it's better to make. I feel like it's better just to bring people up, and if I can educate. I used to do this shit when I used to work at Apple, so it's just nothing new besides just some better money.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hear you.
Yeah. A
Cool,
lot better
man.
money.
All right, boys. You guys have a wonderful, blessed night, and I'll see you soon. Talk to you soon too.
All right, talk to
Absolutely.
you.
Thank you, Warren.
Yes,
You have a
sir.
good one.
All right, bye bye.
Bye.